Hey all, welcome to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the Commonwealth Cabin. You know, on the podcast that I'm on with Dave and Carrie, Trash to Cash podcast, Dave brought up a magazine from 2020, and it was an eBay magazine. And we started talking about it a little bit, and it got me thinking of how different eBay is now, and really just in the last couple of years. Massive changes that, in my opinion, a lot of them make it a lot harder on resellers, and it's kind of this new reality of reselling that we all have to deal with. Some of it's better, some of it's worse, and I want to talk about the new realities of reselling and how, in my opinion, it's getting a little bit harder day after day to keep this up. But I want to be realistic about it as well. I don't want to be Pollyannish about it, and I want to kind of face it a little bit and bring up some topics and get some of your opinions out there in the comments below. Let's dig into it. We also have a bunch of sales today. Let's take a look. We're going to hit a couple of sales here and talk about it throughout the whole video. You know, I've been doing it for 22 years now. Some of y'all out there, you've told me, you know, from the very beginning. I remember the days of cash in the envelopes and cashier's checks and all that stuff. Sold a Kate Spade bag, and I think I paid $10 for it. I got 36, so we're doing okay on that one. We bought another Kate Spade bag at the same sale, I believe, for 10. That was a little better, but this one's pretty cool. It does have a little bit of discoloration, just a little bit that maybe needs cleaned up, but it's in pretty darn good shape. I'll take it. Anybody have any of those crazy early eBay stories that people would love to hear them out there, especially the folks that just started reselling the past few years? Sold a jersey, Virginia Tech jersey, 25 Atkins, and these are, whenever you find jerseys that are actually team issued and worn by the team, you can get a premium for them. And this one right here sold for $90. Because I'm going to be bringing up a bunch of stuff that are real concerns and stuff I want to get your opinion on. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm just bringing these things up, you know, woe is me and how difficult eBay is, because there really were some serious struggles back then as well. And if we were dealing with those, oh yeah, it's on top. If we were dealing with those things, it would be far worse than it is now. But we do have some serious issues that I want to talk about today a little bit. XL Subway. This is a Carl Edwards Joe Gibbs Racing Pit Crew shirt, brand new, size XL. These are not easy to find, and we got a pretty good amount of money for it. They wanted like $10 a shirt at this sale at the Highway 21, I think it was. I remember it was right after I met Flippy McFlipperson out there, and I just made an offer for the tub thinking they'd say no and up the price. I think I offered $40, and there was just tons and tons of this stuff in there. And they said yes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we're only into that for a few. And it's a really nice piece. And this one went to a viewer, went to Nick. He says, thanks for the shirt and the content from your picker and flipper channels. I hope you enjoy that one. I know there's not a ton of them out there. And that one's pretty cool. Just realized I don't think I said what it sold for. That right there sold for $49.50. Do we do plus shipping on it? Plus shipping. Had to go turn off the AC back there. But I already pulled the next item, and I guess it kind of relates to the topic, even though it's not really what I wanted to talk about, which we're going to get into as soon as we talk about this one right here. So back then, there was very few options, and this is a cross-listing sale, which is cool. There's multiple different platforms you can sell on now, and we got this one. A little shout-out. It was perfectly 30% off. Use code Commonwealth. And this guy right here, Beacon 225, and the flash and everything that comes with it. Well, I don't know about everything, but whatever comes with it. And that one sold pretty good, and it had been listed in the eBay store for forever. So it sold for $53.46 plus shipping, and who knows how long it would have taken on eBay. So I guess cross-listing is one of those things we have to deal with it. Is it the new reality for everybody? No. I'm just curious to know how many of y'all post on multiple platforms, maybe not even using a cross-listing platform. But how many of you cross-list in some way, shape, or form? If so, tell me in the comments below. That was totally, I had never posted anything on a secondary platform with the exception of like local Facebook Marketplace forever. Probably for 80% of the time I've been doing eBay, never had to do that, never thought of doing that, never wanted to do that. Now it seems like it's becoming more and more commonplace. But the big issue I want to talk about as I pick some items here, one of them, I've got 5 of them, is promoted listings. Now, I've often said that I don't do promoted listings very often. I do it from time to time. Here's the item that's sold. But in reality, and I've said this before, so, you know, how I promote listings is I put tons of hours into social media and I get viewer sales. This one was a viewer sale. But I realize that's not the reality for most folks. So I'm gonna ask you some questions about this, but let me thank Brian first. Thanks for the offer. My son, I sent out an offer apparently. I do that every, maybe once, twice a week. My son will love adding Rudolph to his collection. I have been following you on YouTube since the early last year and will have to give you credit for helping my eBay store. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Lucky's Bin. Brian, thank you. I appreciate it. I think from what I can gather from my audience here, from you guys out there, is that about half of you promote listings. And for the majority of the people who promote listings, they're pretty darn serious about reselling. And so that tells me, even though I don't promote a ton, and this would be an item that I would promote on shoes, certain kinds of shoes, of course, Air Force Ones, right? Highly competitive. So you either promote it or you put it out there for a price underneath the market. And what are these, by the way? You know, shoe people know this, but I don't. It's Tony Parker. Is that who that is? That's all for $49 plus shipping. How many of you shoe sellers out there promote all the time? And if you promote, what do you promote at? I'm curious. And for those of you who don't promote often, what are the types of items that you do promote? And for those of you who do not promote at all, tell me why. Does it have to do with the items that you're selling? Because if you're selling things that are not heavily saturated, it doesn't do you too much good to promote. How many of you do blanket promotions? There's a lot of comments I read like, this is eBay blackmail and they're just a mafia and they're thugs and whatever. And I don't like it either. But is this the new reality that we all have to deal with? You have to pay the fees and to get some exposure, but if you want real exposure, you got to pay up even more. Is it just an absolute money grab? I hear a lot of people saying they don't mind paying 3%, 6%, 8%. I talk to people who promoted 15% on every single item. So I'd love to know. This is certainly things we didn't have to deal with back then. And it makes you a little bit more aware of the buy side because you know that those fees aren't going to be 15% when it's said and done or 13%. They're going to be closer to 20% or 25%. Talk about the buy side having to be low. This was super low. It was free. And you got to love free. And we'll talk about sourcing in another video. This is really more about eBay itself and the mechanisms that make it work. Size small, Eagles, sweatshirt, team, NFL, women's, right there. And that's sold for 25 bucks free ship. Let's talk about sending offers. You know, you go back 15, 20 years when I was doing this in the early 2000s. I never sent an offer. That wasn't even an option. And viewers never asked for offers either. I'm trying to remember when best offer became a thing at all, but most everything back then when I started was auctions. I used to auction jeans off. I'd go buy them at Goodwill. At that point, they were $2.99 for any pair of jeans. And I would pick the good ones. I would drive the bus for the other sports teams to make extra money in my off season because we'd have off-season practice for baseball, and then I'd get in the bus after that and I'd drive the football team or the volleyball team or whoever I'd drive around, and I'd drop them off, and then I'd go to Goodwill, buy jeans for $2.99. I'd fill them in bags, put them in the seat behind me. People were like, what is this bus driver doing? And I would come home and I would put them out there for 99 cents plus shipping. And of course, they didn't charge shipping. They didn't charge fees on shipping back then, so I'd bump that shipping price up so I could make money there without the fees. Cost you 30 cents or 40, whatever it cost to list it. And that's another thing that's changed. And then I'd wait and see. And very, very rarely did an auction end at 99 cents. If you did that today, tons and tons of stuff would end at 99 cents and people would get a steal. But back then, there wasn't as many sellers. And you'd put a pair of jeans out there. And even in a market where a size reduces the amount of people who are trying to buy something, I would get sometimes $40 for a pair of Levi jeans back then because it was the only size of something somebody liked and I was the only one selling it. There'd be a bidding war. And I made a ton of money off of jeans for a long time. Now it's a totally different market. Back then, I remember I could get a pulse on what the next trend would be because I was a high school teacher. And I mean, when a girl started showing up wearing yoga pants, I'm like, this is not going to be good for the jeans business. And the different styles of things they'd wear, and you could kind of figure it out before it actually hit or as it was hitting. And it was a little bit helpful, but I know a lot of people had a lot of jeans for a long time. Then jeans came back into style, but they were older vintage jeans. And anyway, Minion Tim sold here. I think we paid $5, me and my wife, for this one. It is with the box, but not brand new. Sold for $30 plus shipping. Back then, I never ran sales. It is kind of nice to be able to run a sale on older stuff, and you can just do it as a bulk. But back then, I would, if something wasn't selling in just a couple of months, I would change it and make sure that we reduce the price to make sure it's sold. But now things seem to be staying around for a lot longer. And I think it should inform us that we need to do a better job, certainly does me, on the buy side, and make sure that we're not getting items that are just oversaturated. People will list anything and everything, and then they just sit there. Sting was one of them, and NWO is another. This one right here, I think, pretty sure. And those two sold. I think this was a viewer sale as well. We have been having 20-25% of our sales going to viewers lately. That is incredibly nice. Now that's something that I didn't have 20 years ago. But I kind of get it, right? If people, you know, you don't have to be on social media. You don't have to promote everything on social media. Because the reality is social media takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, and you're taking it away from your reselling business. However, if you can find a way to make it work, if you're niched down or something into a certain category and make it really work in your advantage, it's a good idea for sure. But for most people, it's just not practical. So another way you can get more eyes on your items instead of using social media is just simple promotion. It's just, man, it eats away at that bottom line, and it's really, really tough. I guess I should read the message from Matthew, $20.90. $20? $20.90 right there. Kevin, thank you for all the information and free inspiration. Says he has to pay carry, so it's Matt's fines. So Matt, thank you. I appreciate that. I have the NWO stickers from my wrestling collection, so I had to grab a few things. He says he hopes to meet us next year at the Reseller Meetup. Thanks again, Matt. Matt's Profit Pursuits on YouTube. Go check him out on YouTube. Matt's Profit Pursuits. We appreciate you, Matt. Matt is a member of the Trash to Cash podcast Discord, so we appreciate you over there. We sell these for $15. These are now being, I reduced it to $11.25. We sold a bunch and we made a bunch of money because we got them unbelievably cheap. But now they're going out. We're just making a few bucks pop. Looks like I found two stragglers here. Come here, Pepper. Come here. Here. I'm not even gonna make you sit. Here, I'll let you eat it up here. There you go. That reminds me of something. I got a message. Wholesome and nourishing pet foods treats. You sent me this, but you didn't send any treats. You got to send me some treats for these mongrels here. Anyway, no recalls ever. We appreciate it very much. We've also been on eBay for 22 years. You need to share your stuff down there. Steve and Peachy. There you go. Send me an email. Anyway, thank y'all. There she comes. All right, now I shouted that out right there, y'all. Now you guys send me some treats. So how many of y'all run sales? How many of y'all, I remember nobody ever used to talk about delist, relist, and all that stuff. That was all, that's now, to me, it's all extra work that has to be done on top. You used to just list it and forget it forever. And after forever, you know, if it still didn't sell, hey, you made a bad buy, but your price is probably wrong, or lower the price. Now, you know, delist, relist, cross post, send offers, do sales, send coupons, all this extra work on top of it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, hey, there is a lot more to it than there used to be. And this is kind of the new reality we're in, and it takes more work. But at the same time, it's also higher hurdles for new people to jump in. And part of the problem over the last 20 years is more and more people are reselling, of course. So anyway, just some thoughts. Let me know down below what you think. All right, y'all. Turner is concerned that he's wearing the same clothes as yesterday, but it's not yesterday. We just actually filmed these two segments the same day. All right, he's got a joke, and this is from Marilyn. Marilyn, thank you. You are one of our greatest supporters. We appreciate you greatly. And I've got a couple other things later in the show we're going to read as well. And we have some more sales and a topic that I think is as important as every other one we've talked about today. So, would you read Marilyn's joke for us? A little Commonwealth comedy. What do you got?
How does a lumberjack know how many trees he has to cut down?
How does a lumberjack know how many trees he has to cut down? You tell me.
He keeps a log.
He keeps a log. That's actually the next topic I want to talk about, sort of. So we'll talk about that today. Thank you, Turner. And every time Turner tells a joke, he gets a
$1 to spend, $1 to save, and $1 to donate. Bye.
Now, I'm kind of on the clock here. I've got to hustle because my wife told me I'm going way too slow today, which is true. We got a lot to do the rest of today, and it's already getting pretty late. So I do want to just mention something, and this could be a topic for a whole nother video, but I've kind of done this in the past when the whole $600 1099 came out and whatever. The accounting and making sure you're doing things the right way in order to make this a viable business, it really wasn't like this. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, I realize, you got to pay your taxes and all that stuff. I'm not saying that I didn't pay my taxes back then, but the accounting was very different. And the fact that the IRS was getting updates from online selling platforms just wasn't the case back then. And now it is, for better, for worse, however you want to argue it. It's here and it is an issue, and it makes things really difficult compared to the way they used to be. And, I didn't always sell this kind of volume, nowhere near it 20 years ago. But, I have been for the last 6, 8, 10 years selling at a much higher rate. And if you don't do things the right way, you better have some kind of way to keep the books, or you're going to end up paying way more, and you're going to cut your profit margins almost in half if you're not doing it the right way. Which is an absolute unbelievable segue that I'm not going to miss out on, because I just got a package from Paul and from Faith at my reseller, Genie. They sent one of these out. It's a bookkeeping service, if you don't know that. And it's an online little platform that is unbelievable and has helped so many people out. And I'm proud to be associated with these two individuals, especially. They sent me, look at this little book here. This is going to be awesome for me as well. And they sent these out to all the folks who use their service. So thank you to them. And of course, as always, my reseller, Genie. You can get it right there. 15% off, code Commonwealth. You just had to know I wasn't going to let that slide by. The accounting and analytics solution for resellers. Sold some shoes right here, some Stride Rights. And I usually don't pay more than $1 unless they're in perfect shape. I might pay $2 for Stride Rights because they go for 15 to 20, and these sold for I think $17 for those right there, plus shipping. Got a couple more sales, but I just remembered I forgot to thank Monica. Thank you for an incredible message. That was very kind of you. Farm Life Thrifter. I love that, and I loved your story. And you're on Instagram as well. Normally on Instagram, I'll post a picture and I'll tag you in it. So send me a message over there if I don't do that. Cigar City Pickers also sent an unbelievably nice message here. I hate to read some, not some others, but I'll just let you look at it here if you want. Is there anything I got to really shout out here? It was so kind, I'm almost embarrassed to read it. As a fellow reseller, I admire your approach and the way you foster a sense of community among all of your viewers, as well as invite us into your home. Your authentic... See, I can't read it. It's too nice. Thank you so much, Mark. Cigar City Pickers. We are all tapped out back here, by the way. This one. And so I'm all out of room. I'm going to have to put another one here. I have one out in the other shed, but I don't go out there as often as I should to get more pictures and get stuff tested, but I need to start. Speaking of community here, Flippin' Fantastic Podcast with Mo and Alicia. You should go check it out when you're doing your shipping. Next time, something I probably shouldn't have picked up, but I hate to leave MCM behind very often. It was $1, and I'm like, I'll probably get 10, 15. Well, I couldn't. It is, let's see, Lord, we thank you for this food. A little MCM tray, and it sold for $8 plus shipping, so I probably wouldn't pick it up again, but I felt like I couldn't leave it behind. It's Burwood. Whenever I see Burwood, it's like, yeah, somebody will buy it, and they did. And we haven't been selling as many Inaman as we used to because we're only doing it every couple of weeks. For those of you that don't know, we sold... Actually, I have to go over here now. I need to bring some more out. That's why we're doing so few, because we don't have many left, and I'm taking away from my decor. But I figured we'd keep it up for a while. Because some people want... We're actually almost out of these over here, which is insane. I'm going to do a video on how many of these we've sold, how many of these. Speaking of community, it is absolutely unreal to me just how much support we get from you guys. It just blows my mind every day. And I just want to thank Teresa. Teresa, I don't see a note on the purchase. You may have left one, but it is certainly buried and really hard to dig out. We get so many. And I'll just remind people, if you would, when you buy something, put it in the seller's note to seller. And then that way I'll see it. Because I looked for this for like 9-10 minutes. I could not find it. So maybe he didn't send it. But we really do appreciate it, Teresa. And I hope he gets things moving for you. All right, y'all. Reagan is, well, she's not really back. She didn't leave from last video. But we're filming 2 in a row here. So
yeah. No.
There you go, Nene. We had like 30 some sales. So we divided up into 2 videos. This is actually the same day as the last video. And you got one more person to thank besides No Name. What do you got?
Daniel got a Trash to Cash shirt.
Daniel got a Trash to Cash t-shirt over there. Thank you, Reagan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right, I got to grab one more thing from here, one more thing from inside. The watches, I think, are up here. It is a Snoopy watch. Let's see if I can find a Snoopy watch, y'all. Do you see a Snoopy watch? I see a Mickey watch. That's not Snoopy. That's Garfield. Took my wife to come in here and help me out to find it here. Snoopy watch. Needs a new battery. $12.60. It's an Amatron. Plus shipping. And as always, my wife finds something I forgot about. This Nick's camo hat sold for $13.50 plus shipping. It's a 47 brand. And sold another Harley item. This is a little kind of pouch purse thing. I don't know what you want to call it. Harley branded. $20.90 plus shipping. The next item didn't even make it from this shed, the picture shed, the cleaning shed, the testing shed. Didn't even make it from here to the other shed. It's still right here. And the reason why is because they're kind of bulky. We're run out of space, so I decided to underprice it by like $2 and put flat rate shipping on there. And somebody sent me a message saying, hey, I'll buy all 3 if you combine shipping. I said, absolutely. So $90 plus shipping. And it's laser line 60 cassette holder. Can't wait to show you this one on the Commonwealth Picker channel. It was a crazy buy. And they were all full of cassettes. I bought the cassettes and he said, you can have these for free. I didn't even have to pay for them, which was amazing. But some of these make good money, y'all. Don't pass them up. I think if you waited, you might be able to get $40 plus shipping a piece for them. But I'm happy with 90 plus shipping, selling them all together really quickly. By the way, a quick reminder here. We've got, this is a Whatnot bin. Everything else is eBay. We've got a Whatnot show September 6th. I don't know if this stuff's going in there or not. Hey, let me show you this. I found this just the other day. These are killer. Right here, dragon candle holders. What do you think of that? And I bought this the other day. I don't know what that is. Little hobnail. Anybody out there know what that is? That one's pretty cool. And I don't know if we're gonna, we're probably gonna list these on eBay. I don't know, I might put them over there in the Whatnot auction. They're worth probably around $50. They're pretty awesome. So September 6th, 7:30 on Whatnot. Go check us out over there. We're gonna be doing 7 giveaways and just a lot of good stuff. And September 30th, even if you're not a Whatnotter and you hate it, go bookmark that show for me. There's a link below because we're doing a St. Jude auction and tons of people across reselling, the whole community, not the whole community, but a whole bunch of people. And a bunch of people on YouTube and social media have donated, and all of the proceeds are going to go to St. Jude. So go check us out over there. We appreciate you stopping by as always, and I can't wait to see you next.